Hey, hey, hey. Erin Bradley here with Fairway Independent Mortgage and Pursuing Freedom. And this is a really exciting day for me because I'm going to be introducing you to Stacie Staub of west+mainhomes in Colorado. And Stacie and I have known each other for a long time. She's been in the industry at least as long, if not longer, than I have probably. I've been doing this for about 12 years. So I think Stacie's been in the industry a little longer, right, Stacie?
Yeah, I think I'm almost at 20 years. It makes me feel really old to say that.
Oh my gosh, don't say it. So Stacie most recently, she's been working in many areas of the real estate industry over the past 20 years, but most recently went out and started her own company, which is West in Maine. And I was so excited to see her launch the business at the beginning and then watching her success in such a short period of time and how so many great real estate agents have been attracted to you, almost flocking to you because of the amazing service you provide to your agents. The branding is ridiculous. I feel like I see it everywhere, which means it's working. And it's just so attractive and magnetic. I'm drawn to it. So I'm sure that's what the agents in your company are feeling. And you've got 2 office locations now, right? One in downtown Denver and one in West.
Yep, one in Applewood, which we call the West office, and then in Rhino.
Awesome. So Stacie, I'd love for you to just give us a little introduction. Tell us a little bit about starting West in Maine, your journey over the last year, and we'll just go from there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited to finally talk to you on a podcast, which you've talked about doing for a while, and I'm so proud of you for actually implementing. I'm so impressed. So congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
So West in Maine has been around for a little over a year now. We opened our doors in February of 2017, and it's been a really exciting, boundless journey, I like to call it, that was sort of unpredictable, and certainly not when I sat down a little over a year ago and wrote out a business plan. Looks much different than I thought it would, which is a beautiful thing. We did end up, I pulled it out the other day, and because someone asked me, because I always talk about that business plan and how different it looks, and I had my goal for year 1 was to be at 20 agents and have 1 storefront open. And now that we're a quarter into year 2, we have 65 agents and 2 storefronts. So we've grown, so much faster than we could have dreamed, and it's just been easy. And I know that a lot of people laugh when I say that, but it really has, and that's why I know that we're doing the right thing. When something seems like a struggle and you're coming up against, barriers, and not that there haven't been bumps in the road, there certainly have, but nothing has seemed oh my gosh, why are we doing this? I hate this job now. I wish we hadn't started this company. I've never felt like that for 1 second of 1 minute of the last year and a half. So it's been really one of those things, and that's, I think, how too, when I never have that feeling in my gut, oh, are we doing the right thing? We just make fast decisions. We go with our gut feelings, and we just do what we think is right and best for our company, our agent, and our clients every turn in the road.
So talk to me a little bit. I know that there's a we, which is you and all of your agents, but you've also got a partner in this, correct?
I do. So my wonderful, amazing, I can't say enough great things about her, partner in this is Madeline Linder. She is our creative director. She's the absolute heart behind the brand. Everything that you see that has West in Maine involved was designed by Maddie.
Awesome. And then, because I'm sure that we've got people listening that are thinking about starting their own company, either on their own or with a partner, do you have any advice as to how to navigate that partnership in a way that your natural born gifts complement each other as opposed to, conflicting with one another?
I think it's really important to have differing skill sets, and that was something I knew that people were doubting about Madeline and I, because we both came from the creative side of the business. At our last gig, we were the marketing department. So, we got paid to make everything look pretty. And I think that when I started having this feeling of like, I need a new challenge, I am not using myself to my fullest extent, I'm kind of getting bored, I've been doing the same thing, and started feeling like I need to be running a brokerage. Like, I don't need to just be making a great brokerage better. And so that was kind of how that came about. And like, now that I've kind of taken the operations side and let Maddie take the make it pretty side, I've found that we've both kind of been able to reach our like best potential and our best selves, and we still collaborate on everything. There are things that neither of us is great at, things like bookkeeping. So now, we outsource that stuff, and we've realized like what we enjoy doing and what we absolutely hate doing, what neither of us is good at, and we're looking for people to fill those holes. But for about the first year, we did it all on our own, and that was important. Like, we learned how to do it, we made mistakes, and along the way, we figured out what we wanted West + Main to be and what we think it will become.
And then from a mentoring perspective, in terms of taking care of your agents, do they come to both of you, or is one of you the primary point person in terms of being a support to your real estate agents on your team?
I don't think they go to Maddie with a lot of contract questions. She is a licensed realtor, but she doesn't have a lot of experience on that end. I apologize, I have a cold, I might cough. And so that tends to be like my wheelhouse. For marketing stuff, I am trying to redirect people to Madeline because I want her to feel empowered and like be empowered actually to make those decisions without having my input, especially as we grow. Those little details, like where do I order my signs for the yard, or where do I, what do you think about sponsoring this event? Like, I'm really trying to say, I say more and more now, like, can you ask Maddie that? Or Maddie might have some input on that, or can you Slack Maddie? And that's become a real lighted load for me as well. In the beginning, it's hard not to feel so overprotective of everything. And so learning to let go of some of the little things and some of the big things is actually awesome. So they do, I think they feel like we're 50-50 owners, that's how we operate, and we're both open if they need something.
I think that's a really important point that you just touched upon, because as you know, I started my own branch of Fairway in the fall of 2016. And it takes time to get the right people on the bus and everybody in the right seat on the bus. And so as we built our team out, as a leader or an owner or a manager, for anyone who's listening, I'm sure that you will be able to relate to this, that there comes a point where all of a sudden, even though you've got support all around you, you find yourself feeling really spread thin and maybe anxious, like you're working all the time, or you just feel like you're spinning too many plates or something. And all of a sudden you look around and you realize, I'm just doing too much.
Yeah.
I literally am doing too much, and there are only so many hours in the day. And here I'm surrounded by a team that are skilled at many of the things that I may be less skilled at, or just don't frankly have the time for. And so I know that we had a real eye-opener, or kind of not a come to Jesus, but light bulbs started going off a few months ago when I was able to look around and say, you know what, you're an expert in this, and I want you to step up and be the leader and be the point person for the operational stuff. And I want you to be the point person for the customer service and marketing stuff. So that way I could shelter myself from being the first go-to all the time. And it really does work. And you find that when you empower people like that too, that I just feel like the whole organization starts to click a little bit better and run a little more smoothly. Let's talk a little bit about the agents. Gosh, that's incredible. So you had a goal of 20 agents. You more than tripled your goal, which is absurd and ridiculous in an amazing way. What do you think has been the biggest draw for the agents that you've attracted? And tell me a little bit about your culture and how you serve them, everything. It's just blown my mind.
Well, I think we got, I'm not going to say lucky. It was strategic at some points, but also like kismet at some points. So when we decided to open our first storefront, it was because it was earlier than we thought it was going to be. Like we were going to work out of our houses or maybe find a WeWork space at first or something. And then all of a sudden agents started coming to us and wanting a place to work. And we were like, you know what, let's take a leap. Let's open a storefront. That's the dream. So let's do it now. And we found this place on the west side. And I think people really questioned that because they were like, why wouldn't you open downtown first? Like, why wouldn't you want to be more central? For one thing, it was a really selfish decision. Maddie and I both live near Golden, and we both wanted to be in our little loop. I love that I'm 5 minutes away from everything. The rent was also cheaper. But what we really did was find a niche that was completely untapped, which was a boutique presence on the west side of town. And so that Lakewood, Arvada, Morrison, Wheat Ridge agent who didn't want to go downtown all the time, but wanted to work for a boutique, those are the people that found us first, for sure. Driving by the office and seeing the sign and kind of going like, wait, what is this? And then finding us online and following us on Instagram and like starting to follow our Facebook and things like that. Like I have so many agents that we've hired now who that was their story. Like they were tired of going to the tech center. Maybe their office was up in Westminster and they were tired of driving up there and they weren't finding what they needed with the big brand. So a lot of those people just kind of found us, which is awesome. And it just shows that the branding worked and really resonated. But then what's been also awesome is our industry partners and colleagues who started to realize like, hey, I have a closing with this lady, maybe you're a title rep and you sense some unhappiness or frustration. And then they start to realize like, where you'd be really happy or who you should talk to Stacie at West Main. And so we started getting all of these introductions, which was amazing. And it was super unexpected. And so appreciated because those people, it was almost like, it wasn't like we were interviewing each other. It was just like a get to know you chat because we both knew it was already going to work. Because those are the types of people that we love to work with, the people that appreciate what we've done and what we're doing. And then
it's kind of like the difference between internet leads for clients versus referral business.
Yes,
they
exactly.
come to you expecting to love you,
mm-hmm.
and they come to you and you're expecting to love them because of the person who made the introduction, which always makes it a better energy from the get-go.
Oh yeah, and like I have the highest expectations for ourselves then to deliver what they have been sold by someone else. So delivering on that and making sure to meet those promises and to keep under promising and over delivering and surprising and delighting is my passion for our agents. I love to just sit with Maddie and go you know what, how can we shake up the Thursday meeting this week? Let's do something special, and we'll come up with something and everyone will walk in and be like, whoa, this is awesome. We weren't expecting this. We thought we were just coming to stats class, and same thing with swag and the new collateral we're producing. We're pushing really hard this summer because we have some extra help in the office to create some collateral that is well needed by our industry, and no one takes the time to put it together. So we're really excited about a lot of the things that we have coming up, and I can't wait to get it in our agents' hands so that then they can get it in their clients' hands. And I am so excited about some things that we have going on right now.
So awesome. I love I always feel when you're operating from a place of passion and excitement, when you wake up every day and you're excited to go to work, that you end up becoming a sort of a magnetic force, because I always know that when I'm operating from a place of excitement or passion and I love what I'm doing, I see my business start to grow organically. You attract what you're seeking because it's in alignment completely. So I love hearing that excitement from you, because I'm 100% certain that that's what's drawing people to you and to your company and your brand. Talk to me a little bit about, you mentioned the meetings, because when I talk to real estate agents, I'm always looking to figure out what's your bottleneck, how can I help you grow your business? And just like some of your industry colleagues, like you mentioned, made that connection because they heard an agent saying, I'm not happy or I'm not getting what I need from this company. Well, maybe you should check with West and Main. I'm always having those conversations with realtors I meet as well, just to say, what do you need and where can I help you grow your business, right? So what I found shocking is that I always ask, especially if it's a newer agent, I ask or if they've just recently changed companies, I say, so what made you pick the company you're with? Do they provide you any sales training? Do they provide you any marketing materials? And I can't tell you how many times, at least 50% of them tell me that, no, they really don't provide anything. I don't even go to the office because I don't really get anything done there. So I'm better off just working from home. And I'm thinking, how can you possibly succeed operating like an island? And why would your company not invest in you in some way to help you grow your business? Because we all need help. We all need coaching. So I know you do a lot of that. And I would love for you to share a little bit about what kind of systems you have in place to help your agents grow.
Well, we decided from the very beginning, from two ends of that spectrum. We knew from the beginning that we wanted to offer spots to new agents because so many companies don't. And the ones that do, it's just like a numbers game, right? Like they know they're going to take in 100 and keep 2. And the rest of them are going to float away or maybe fail in the business or, whatever that looks like. So I really wanted to give fantastic new agents a spot to land. So we have a new kids class every single Tuesday. And it's the kind of stuff that they and some of them don't even have their license yet, by the way. They have not committed to West Maine, but they're, just really needed to get their hands in the dirt and even while they're still studying for their test. And start putting those things in place that they're going to need to jumpstart their business from the very beginning. It takes new agents usually so long to get started, to get that first deal. And it's because in real estate school, no one's telling them hey, you should be organizing your database. Hey, you should be talking to your friends about real estate. You should be going to classes now, even outside of the real estate school, so that you understand how to really do real estate, not just how to pass this test. And so offering that has been such a beautiful thing for us because we've done it totally different than other brokerages do it. We don't have a mentor program. We don't have a 16-week required with a graduation at the end kind of thing. It's an ongoing, it's a flow, and it's something where those folks can just kind of join in and see if they fit. And if not, they stop coming, which they kind of self-select out, which is awesome because I challenge them in that class. There's homework and they need to actually do the things. They can't just show up and be on their computer and it's super boring and they don't even know why they're there. We're there, it's hands-on, it's usually a workshop or a field trip or something. So that's one thing. And then on every single Wednesday, we decided from the beginning too, that because none of our agents have desks, and especially when we grew to 2 offices, we wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to see our people on a really regular basis, but at the same time respect the fact that these folks are independent contractors for a reason. Realtors hate required sales meetings. I'm sure this is breaking news, right?
Yeah.
They do not like being told what to do, where to go, when to be there, and so we put an agenda out, but every single Wednesday there's something going on. There's an opportunity to get together, to learn, to grow, to find out something new, to meet someone new, to connect with each other. And that's made our culture super strong. And I know it's because of that regularity in our schedule. And sometimes it is draining. It's oh my gosh, another Wednesday. I try to book them out 3 months in advance and try to keep it super creative and keep the energy up. And, it can be really I can't give them 4 title classes in a row. They'll stop coming, right? So we mix it all up and we do some fun stuff and we do some business building stuff. We do some CE. So all of those things really provide them with the ongoing training. And I feel that energy push that they need to just keep going, and to just feel they're part of a really strong team.
Now, do you personally lead the new kids classes or do you mix it up as well?
Mix that up as well. No one wants to hear me talk, every Tuesday. I like to teach and I love coaching. But at the same time, I feel there's something really valuable in bringing someone else in. And often it's another agent from our office. Cassidy and Allie a couple of weeks ago taught a video class that was amazing. And they did that out of their own drive. I didn't ask them to do it. They asked if they could do it because they'd gone to this cool workshop and wanted to share what they learned. I have different agents teach the contracts class because I certainly don't know everything. And, there's different viewpoints on some of the points in the contract. And I think you're either going to hear it or not, but hearing it from different people and hearing a different perspective, something's going to click. Same thing with CMAs, same things with, and I bring in a lot of CE for them as well, because I think that's really important.
And then do the new agents come to the new kids class as long as they want to until they feel like they're ready? And can they also choose to go to the Wednesday class? Do they can just come in and soak up as much knowledge as they want?
Yep, everything's open to everyone. I call the new kids class because it does tend to be like a little bit more basic, a little bit more like a what to expect at an inspection. We're doing a mock closing, how do appraisals actually work, those kinds of things. But we do have more established agents that come to those classes, and they either do it because they want a refresher, or I think they just like being around the energy of those new people. And some of them are sort of scouting for their teams. So those relationships come together very organically in our office. I don't try and match teams. I don't try to create mentorships, but they happen because, they're giving each other what they need, and they figure that out by being there.
That's really, really awesome. I mean, I love that there's a supportive culture like that, because real estate can feel isolating sometimes and also competitive. And what a lot of people, I really feel like they miss the boat. Lenders too. Not a lot of lenders actually collaborate with other lenders. And I think it's a shame, frankly, because you can learn so much from your colleagues in the industry. And there really, truly is abundance for all, right? I mean, anybody could set goals and achieve them by doing the work and by learning as much as they possibly can and by masterminding and collaborating. So I love that you're creating a culture that supports that kind of collaboration as opposed to competition, because it's unique. I mean, it's really special.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing, like, you will not find a leaderboard ever in our office. You will never hear at our sales meeting us introducing the top producers. I acknowledge those things one-on-one, and I make sure that those folks that are doing really well or doing something new or hitting new peaks are, know that I know that that's happening. But I also just feel like that's such like a drain on most cultures to have like this like echelon of people. And like, I know the whole theory behind it and I get it, and I just have always hated it. So I would rather, celebrate, my little new agent who has two $200,000 condos under contract right now. Like, amazing. Like, that's just as impressive to me as, this person who's going to do $20 million this year, but I certainly appreciate both. I just don't feel like there's any need to like make people feel bad about like what they're not doing, and pressuring people into competing or feeling like, there's not enough business for everyone, so you better be in that top 20%. We also don't have minimum production requirements. Like, everyone who goes through bad times or slow times or has a bad year. And so I do ask people to set a goal every year, and I want to help them reach that goal. For some of our folks, that's 4 houses a year, and I am totally cool with that. Like, I want to help them achieve that goal. Maybe they have other stuff going on. Maybe this is a side hustle. That's all okay with us, as long as they're doing things in an ethical, knowledgeable way and truly helping their clients. And, other people want to sell 100 houses this year. Like, great, we can't wait to help you do that too, But I think that's part of the glue that's like really making us strong, is just having that accepting like place for all of these folks to be.
So I know that you're involved with several networking, mastermind groups, et cetera, that are not just here in Colorado, but nationally and even outside of the country. So have any of those philosophies that you've implemented in your company and into your culture come from folks that you've admired and that you've networked with and said, I like the way he's doing it or she's doing it, I really want to implement that inside my own company? Or do you feel like a lot of this is just following your gut, or is it a combination of both?
I think both. And I think like when I was thinking about taking this leap, like, I leaned on my mastermind people hard. Like, those are my tribe. None of them live in Colorado, but they're all my closest friends, because I had to kind of go outside our real estate space to find them. I had to go to national conferences. I had to start speaking. I had to start making myself very visible in order to find those people who think like me, or who have this drive, or who have this like outside of the box, I guess, like way of looking at our vertical. And you find each other, right? So thank goodness for Facebook and tools like that that have made it so much easier to stay connected. But I have a mastermind group of mostly broker owners who from all across the Northern America, actually Canada as well. And they're all at different stages in their careers. Some of them are with big boxes and just have big teams. Some of them have independent brokerages like mine. But we constantly share, and we call it stealing from each other, because that's exactly what I do. Like when I wanted to put together our listing presentation, it's a little like daunting, like, wow, that seems like a huge task, and how do we do it differently? And I just asked everyone to send me theirs, and I took all of the best pieces from everyone's and put them together. So, and no one's mad about it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes like I have this marketing campaign right now called Moving Out of Denver, and I feature one of their listings every week on our blog and in our newsletter, so that people can compare, like, if you cash out on your equity here, what could you buy in Augusta? What could you buy in New Orleans? What could you buy in Philadelphia? And that's been such a fun collaborative series. And like I have a lineup of listings waiting to get featured. So I think, again, like coming from a place of abundance and just knowing like no one was doing it exactly the way I wanted to do it. Like I couldn't go like, okay, I'm going to follow her playbook because this is exactly how I think a brokerage should look for me. But like, it's again, just a collaboration of all of those things, and like I'm picking the best pieces and the ones that resonated with me.
Totally. Just curious, because I'm sure that folks listening are probably thinking, I want to be a part of that mastermind group. Are there openings for more, or is it kind of just a small closed group, just out of curiosity?
I am in probably 10 different mastermind groups. So one of them is local. Certainly let me know if you're in Denver and you're a broker owner and would like to meet once a month and just talk about the issues that we face. That one, is welcome for introductions. Some of them are very tight. It's kind of like, I compare it to my book club that's been together for 10 years. Like that group of ladies is like my sisterhood. They're my safe place, and we don't invite new people in, right? So
sure.
My masterminds are like that too. So it's like, nope, this is like, you never know too, like real estate's so drama. Like you never know who's crossed who, and like, whatever. So having those really tight trust spaces is really important if you can get to that place. So I have a lot of those with different people, and some of them hate the people in the other groups. So it's really weird, but you have any talk about them.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for folks that would love to find something like that? How did you go about creating or being invited, or becoming a part of them?
There was a group of us that always ended up at the same conferences, and frequently we were speaking, and so we would always make an effort to put aside a mastermind day, like if we were all going to be in New York for Inman Connect. And then it got to the point where we needed like closer collaboration throughout the year, and so that's when we were like, let's just start a private Facebook group, and everyone's dedicated in there. In fact, we have voted people off the island who tended to take and not contribute. It's just kind of like, oh, that's not feeling good anymore, whatever. So then you really, and don't be afraid to do that, or to start another group that doesn't have that person in it. It's really easy, not hurt feelings or burn bridges, but you also have to make the most of every minute of your time. And that's one thing, like I don't waste 1 minute of any day. And people are like, how do you do it all? And it's like, well, like I really know like how to capitalize on every minute with my kids, every minute with my agents, every minute with my, if I'm going to a meeting, I know exactly what I want to accomplish there. When I volunteer for a committee, I know exactly why I'm doing it and what I want to accomplish. It's not just to find a free lunch every month. So I spend my time online the same way. It's very intentional. I'm looking to connect with certain people or to nurture relationships. So I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind. And it's not like a leads group. right? So like there's these BNI and leads group. Those are different. Like those have a very intentional purpose as well. Like you're helping each other build your businesses by sending each other business. That's not really how my mastermind groups work, although I do send them referrals when they come up. But it's more of like a, hey, I need a place to like talk this out. I need to rant about this, or I need a place to throw something out and go like, am I crazy? And if I am crazy, you need to tell me yes, you know?
Right.
It takes a while to develop that. It's not just like a sign up if you're available on Tuesdays at 10, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That's awesome. So I hadn't actually planned on going in this direction, but I was thinking about it when you mentioned being 5 minutes from home earlier in our conversation. And then you did allude to having children. And I think it would be really interesting for our listeners to know just how many children you have and the ages, because it's pretty amazing on top of what we've all just learned from you and how much has happened in the past year, which is only a snippet of your successful career, but I just think that's what we're focusing on today. So tell me about your family, because I also think this is incredible.
So I have 4 kids. Riley is 19, Hudson is 14, Elliot is 12, and Lev is 9. Riley is going to a local community college right now, so she's also one of our interns. She keeps me in line. She does a lot of blogging. She like basically keeps me organized. And now we have brought on a couple of her friends as well as our summer intern team, which has been like so far over the last week, they've accomplished more of our to-do list. Maddie and I are like, we need to come up with more stuff for them to do. Like we thought this was like our dream accomplishment list. So we have huge projects in mind for them. And then my littles, you know, are always around the office. I often will pick one of them up from school and then bring them back to the office. Either they'll be doing homework or babysitting a toddler that happens to be around. Our offices are both very kid and dog friendly, so they're very active and never boring, that's for sure. So that's really important to me. It's really important for my kids to feel welcome where I work. And my husband's office has always been the same way. Like on a day off, they get to decide, like, are you gonna go to dad's office or mine? There's cool things about each of them. But because he owns his own company too, like that's always been a part of our mission, is to provide parents with a working environment where they can, you know, not feel like they're, you know, tied to a desk or not able to serve their kids too. So.
I love that, because I've always felt the same way. And I also want to mention that your partner, Madeline, has an 18-month-old son. And we talked about this previously, that the office is super kid friendly and there's a little teepee in there and everything, which totally inspired me, because when I opened my new office in Winter Park, I have a little corner that I was thinking, oh, I'll put a little basket of toys and stuff. And then when I heard you say about your teepee, I thought, oh my gosh, we have a teepee in my daughter's room that the kids never even play in it. It's just leaning against the wall. So she's going to be finding that in my office soon, because it's adorable. It just makes the place look super welcoming. And I imagine the same thing as my kids get older. They're only 5 and 8, but they'll be a big part of, but the office is a place that they're going to feel welcome and they're going to have fun there. And, you know, just see that hard work is a good example for kids. And I think that it's a challenge sometimes for working parents to figure out that balance between, am I doing my kids a disservice because I'm working too hard, or am I doing my kids a solid because they see what hard work looks like and they will have a model to follow? And, you know, there's always going to be guilt about, am I doing it right or wrong? I don't know. Maybe it's just in my life, but just finding that balance. And
sorry, that's really loud. I think real estate is such a great opportunity for especially working moms, but working parents in general. It certainly gave me the opportunities that I needed to be able to make a great living and have my kids around all the time, and to never miss a, you know, lacrosse game, and to never miss a Christmas play, like things like that. Because it can be like, you have to design your business around those things that are important to you. And no matter what that looks like, that might look like daycare 8 to 5 for you. That might look like, you know, a mommy's morning out program at first. But I was certainly always able to volunteer in classrooms and contribute to the PTA and do all of those things that I really would have missed not doing, because kids are only kids once. I'm going through it 4 times, but I've been in elementary school for like 20 years now, but and it's not even over yet. And then I'll be in college for like 20 years, right? But
right.
I don't want to have any regrets about anything, and like hopefully I can provide those opportunities for other people as well. So, and that's another reason why our brokerage is designed to be so collaborative and unifying. And like if someone puts on Slack, which is our internal messaging system, that they need help with showings at the last minute, or, you know, they need to be in 3 places tomorrow, including a soccer game. Can someone please show a couple houses in Broomfield? Or can someone cover an inspection? Or can someone do an open house because they have a sick kid? Like, there's always someone that raises their hand and says, like, I can't wait to help you with that. And that's it's serving both of them, right? Because then those new kids are the ones that usually step up, and they need that experience and those opportunities to figure out how to open lockboxes, for goodness sake, or to figure out how to, you know, get business from an open house, or, you know, like all of those opportunities that aren't available at all brokerages, which like blows my mind. So I think that's really like been one of the best things to come out of this setup as well.
Well, that just gave me the chills. I love that. And I also love the fact that you live on a little farm, right? And have some animals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little crazy right now.
What do you have?
My kids raise market lambs in the summer, and then through a 4-H program, and then they auction them off in the fall. And then we have horses and chickens. We have baby chickens right now that are kind of teenagers. Like, they're not quite ready to move outside. I'm super overprotective, but they are moving at least to the garage. So, but they've been living in our kitchen. And then we have our dog who like keeps the big chickens out of the house. Like, it's a circus, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I feel like this is just a season in our life when we can do this. So we're taking full advantage of it, and it's having a really good time. They're a great photo op as well. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see all of our animals.
Well, I love that. I think that you are a great example of my personal philosophy, which I'm pretty sure is yours, is that you can have it all. I think you can. I think you can have a successful business, and you can have a happy family and a happy marriage and kids who have mom around for all the things they want mom around for, because you've designed it and you're executing it, and you're an example to anyone who thinks that it's not possible. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm always impressed and inspired by you. Let's just end it with letting us know how folks can reach you if they want to get in contact with you for anything that we just covered today.
Thank you. And by the way, back at you, because I think the exact same things about you. And my next to do is to write a book, so I'll be coming to you for advice on that. So we're easy to find online, west+mainhomes on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere you might look. Our website is west+mainhomes.com. Personally, I have no code name online. I'm just Stacie Staub. So anywhere that you find me, please get in touch. I love to, I love to talk things out. I love to connect. So please do.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you, and I wish you massive success. I can't wait to do this again in a year and see what's happened. So good luck, and to your continued success.
Thank you, Erin.
Bye-bye.
Bye.